Hi everyone, today I'm going to share my final design proposal of Gavalinku. I will divide this presentation into several parts. The first part I want to have an introduction and preview to the Gavalinku. Gavalinku is a vibrant community that is always on the go. It is the biggest community in northern Land with over 2,000 people, with 90% being young indigenous people. It is also a youthful community with 44% of Gavalinku population being younger than 20. It is 550 kilometers northeast of Darwin and 150 kilometers northwest of Nuremberg. In February 2015, the fourth-level cyclone swept the Land community and nearby substations. Among them, the Gavalinku community became the most severely indigenous community in the Northern Territory in this storm. The Australian government issued a typical cyclone warning on February 16. The Gavalinku community demolished the football over 10 cities in preparation for the storm. Until February 19th, the tropical cyclone further intensified, making a fourth-level cyclone and breaking the highest record. Two-thirds of the house and infrastructure in Gavalinku were destroyed by the speed of 150 kilometers per hour of tropical cyclone and more than 250 people displaced. The emergency response of this cyclone in Gavalinku divided in four parts: education, intensity, financial assistance, and mental health team. Also, there are many problems in the education in Gavalinku. In this design proposal, I would like to focus on the mental health matters. My initial thinking is to make a sandbox in Gavalinku, as the mental health problem should be focused in Gavalinku. The sandbox therapy is a technique which can be used to facilitate healing different ages people. My initial thinking was to make a shade shelter called sandbox which can offer centered therapy for people in Gavalinku. Although there are many benefits for my initial thinking, however, there are still many problems. So as to make my final proposal to be more persuasive, I just found two precedents in Japan and China. Turning to my final proposal, following the research about mental health problem in Gavalinku after cyclone land in assessment 2, I make more observation about the problems. Based on the secondary research, I found that the local indigenous were stressed about living in temporary accommodation, which will make them displaced. This might lead to PTSD, and also they should set a scene for other natural disasters. And at the same time, the financial problem should be focused in this program. So as to solve this problem, my final proposal is to make a Gavalinku mental health house. This is the four views of the house. I plan to make this house into 4 rooms: counseling room, sandbox games room, survey room, and the reception. In the survey room, an open-end questionnaire is set for mental health survey team to investigate the psychological status of the affected local indigenous. Based on the data collected from the questionnaire, it is helpful to identify both the response of the survivors and the programs that are organized to assist them. In the sandbox game room, a centered therapy is set to help the psychological team to heal the locals through this process. Sandbox therapy is a technique that can be used to facilitate healing in different ages people. Last, in the counseling room, mental health counselors help the patients to achieve emotional wellness. In our house, the indigenous can communicate with the psychological team and getting assistance from them. Also, the psychological team may speak in the local language that can comfort the indigenous. Also, the whole Gavalinku mental health house will decorate it with Gavalinku regional viewers. Use some local elements during design process that can make them feel comfortable and increase their sense of identity. Also, through the methods of translate the questionnaire into their local language, giving them voucher for daily necessity when they participate in the surveys, and also give them voucher for daily necessity by donating viewers to the mental health house, can help to solve the problems for my initial thinking. Cross-cultural issue in the disaster assistance, unfamiliarity with the psychological assistance, and identification of the response. Combining with these 3 steps of psychological therapy, we can provide them with better psychological service to achieve the goals of our project, support them, teach them, help them, and make them feel better, get better, and stay better. This is my material testing. The usual wood and Gavalinku Aboriginal viewers were used to the outer world. Also, the Gavalinku Aboriginal viewers with the canvas were used to shack and also the acrylic wood is decorated for the outer space. All these materials is use of available local and natural materials in Gaolinku. I think this is a response for the financial problems. This is the model for my Gaolinku mental health house, and this is the reference. That's all of my final proposal. Thanks for coming to my presentation.